The film begins with a joyful couple, Paul and Iris, cruising along in their car. Iris has a blindfold on. Paul has planned a surprise outing. Moments later, we learn he's booked a reservation at a newly launched rooftop restaurant called Sky View. When Paul removes the blindfold, Iris is thrilled and hugs him with excitement. They head up in the elevator to the top, but upon arriving, they're informed that the tower's construction wrapped up 5 months ahead of schedule. This news unsettles Iris, as rushed construction often raises safety concerns. Still, they continue to the top. As Iris glances over the edge, her fear of heights kicks in. She suffers from acrophobia. Paul quickly notices and apologizes, realizing this wasn't the best venue choice. Iris brushes it off with a smile to keep his spirits up, and they decide to enjoy a drink. While Paul goes to get drinks, Iris feels lightheaded and hurries to the restroom. There, a woman notices her condition and casually asks if she's pregnant. After a moment of hesitation, Iris admits she is, just 2 weeks along, and hasn't told Paul yet. We also find out that this woman is a singer at the venue and has her child with her. She reassures Iris that everything will work out, calming her down a bit. Feeling slightly better, Iris returns to the dance floor with Paul. This is when things begin to unravel. A small piece of a chandelier detaches, cracking the glass floor beneath the dancers. Initially unnoticed, guests continue dancing. Paul brings Iris to the highest point of the venue, where a young boy is about to drop a coin for fun. A security guard stops him just in time. Then Paul kneels and proposes. Overwhelmed with joy, Iris accepts and also shares the news of her pregnancy. As they embrace, the boy eventually drops the coin, which slips into a vent and jams a fan, halting its movement. No one sees this mechanical failure. Suddenly, strange things start happening. Fire sparks in the kitchen, music plays, cocktails are being made, then the cracked glass floor finally gives in. Dancers fall through, chaos erupts. Paul clings to a broken edge, but despite Iris's desperate efforts to save him, he slips and falls to his death. The fire spreads quickly. A woman catches fire, causing panic. An explosion follows, killing more guests. The elevator operator urges everyone to use the stairs, but even the staircase collapses, leading to further deaths. Eventually, everyone crams into the elevator, which becomes overloaded. The cables snap. It crashes to the ground, killing everyone inside. Half the structure falls apart. Iris, devastated, sees the young boy from earlier crying for help. She grabs his hand and leaps toward a pillar for safety. Miraculously, they hang on, but only because Iris's engagement ring is caught between 2 nails. The weight is too much. The pressure rips through her finger, and both fall to their deaths. Suddenly, the scene shifts. Stephanie wakes up in her classroom. Everything was part of a vivid daydream. Her teacher scolds her, and classmates look on awkwardly. Stephanie reveals she's been having this exact dream for months. What's more, she knows the woman in the vision, her grandmother, Iris. Determined to uncover the truth, she visits her father, Marty, and brother, Charlie. They explain that Iris had a role in their abandonment by their mother, Darlene. With no clear answers from her father, Stephanie visits her uncle Howard, accompanied by Charlie. They meet cousins Bobby, Eric, and Julia. When Iris's name comes up, the mood shifts. They're visibly shaken. It's revealed Iris abandoned Howard and Darlene in childhood, and over the years sent cryptic letters warning that death was coming for their children, complete with strange symbols showing how it hunts its victims. Howard had cut off all contact with her, hoping to protect his family, but Stephanie insists on digging deeper. Brenda, her aunt, hands over the old letters, which contain Iris's last known address. Stephanie visits the isolated house. The place is fortified, heavy gates, metal defenses. It looks like a bunker. Inside, she finally meets Iris, who has been living off-grid for 2 decades. There's no technology, no comfort, just survival. Stephanie explains her recurring nightmares, and Iris reveals a shocking truth. Those dreams weren't fiction. They were glimpses of a real disaster she narrowly prevented 20 years ago. In a flashback, we see Iris stopping the boy from dropping the coin and disrupting the band's performance to warn the guests. They initially think she's crazy, but as the glass beneath them starts to crack, they evacuate, and the incident is avoided. However, by saving those lives, Iris defied death's design. Since then, death has been reclaiming its intended victims, and even their offspring who were never meant to exist. Iris has lived in isolation to protect her children and grandchildren. Stephanie, believing Iris has lost her mind, storms out. But in a tragic twist, a metal rod fatally strikes Iris moments later, right in front of Stephanie, proving everything was real. As Stephanie reads through Iris's book on death, she realizes that the rest of the family is now in danger. Tragic events follow. Howard dies from a freak lawnmower accident. Julia is crushed by a garbage truck. Eric, trying to cheat death, orchestrates a fatal experiment involving Bobby and peanut butter, his allergen, hoping to resuscitate him afterward. It backfires. Both die due to a chain of horrific events triggered by the MRI machine. Eventually, Darlene sacrifices herself, isolating in Iris's cabin to break the chain, but an explosion claims her life. Charlie rescues Stephanie from drowning, and by performing CPR, brings her back to life. They think they've beaten death. But in the final moments, a dropped coin prevents a rail track from shifting. A train derails and crushes Stephanie and Charlie, sealing their fate. Death, once cheated, always comes back to finish what it started. I hope you guys like this movie recap. Please like and subscribe for more videos like these.